Hey everybody, it's Irene with BrainStormAcres, and today I am going to be finishing up these shelves. I got the basic supports up for them yesterday, and I got to the point where I needed to know how wide the shelves were going to be and also get the shelves cut. Now I had planned these shelves. The shelves only come in set lengths, and right now, because of the lack of stuff in the stores, we could only get even smaller quantities of set lengths. So we got 2 sets of 6-foot shelves, figuring that these would be about 3 feet wide. The widest they could possibly be is 38 inches, so 36 inches is not a big deal. I was going to cut them with a hacksaw, but Henry volunteered today to take a couple minutes off from working on the solar system, and we cut it. I helped him cut it with an angle grinder instead. What I like about the angle grinder is it's quick. What I don't like is it tends to melt the plastic and make it a little messy. But no matter which way you do it, you still need to put covers. Even if you just buy them, you still need to put covers like this. They're just little, I can't think of a polite word for them. I would call them nipples. I don't know. They go over the ends of this thing here, and even the ones that, like this one, is just the way it was bought, and it's a little sharp. So I've used a file, cleaned off any of the ones we actually cut, and then I've put these covers on the ones that are going to be this way. The ones that are going to be up against the wall are not a problem, although I did at least smooth them off a little bit because the cutting process makes them a little sharp. But the ones that are on this side will be closer to the Roman shade, and also you're more likely to bump them when you're reaching in to get something. Now, I've done a little bit of spacing in my brain, and then I started laying these out a little bit. These are super easy to install. You get the occasional recalcitrant bracket, but generally speaking, they work really well. And my brain wants them to go that way because that's a nice smooth surface. But where they really go is this way. And you're just going to hook them in to the little silly thing. Now, each type of shelving has a slightly different bracket and a slightly different way it snaps in. But this just has a couple of hooks that hold it, and it's not going anywhere. So I'm going to go ahead and get these in. I have 4 shelves. We only have 3 sets of shelf brackets because that's all that was available in the store when we were buying stuff. So I'm at least going to get these up, and I'm going to start at the top because that way it'll be easier to install the other ones later. There we go. Okay, so that's not going anywhere. You can push anywhere on it, and it's hooked at the back by a hook, and it's hooked at the front by the fact that it's over the front here. So I'm just going to go ahead and get these in, and then I'm going to start the reorganization process here. The point of these shelves is to store things that we don't need all the time. We do have some things like some of these pans here. They're valuable baking pans. They'd be incredibly expensive to replace, but they might get used once a year. I want them accessible in the sense that I don't want them in a box somewhere in storage, but I don't need them like right here in front of my face. So we're going to put some of the stuff like this up here. On the lower shelves, I'm going to put things that I need quicker access to. I'll be able to mush things around. And I know it's going to take a few tries to mush things around from various places in here. That's just the way it is when you're reorganizing. And I have come to realize that there's no such thing as a perfectly organized reorganization. So we will do it a bit at a time. One of the things we have to watch with this is the location of the wires. They're supposedly uniform, but they're not 100% the same between each set of shelves, so it comes out a little different each time. Squish that one up a little further. But see, these are the ones that are most likely to get banged into when you're doing something, so that's where I'll put the covers. And if I start to have any problems with anything else, I will just simply put a cover on it. I have some spares, which is a really good thing because the last time I went, you couldn't get any, which is kind of not shocking. Oops. There we go. These are actually easier to put together in a lot of ways than the old design. So I think I understand why they changed things. They were probably having way too many complaints from the other ones. And you actually kind of do need to actually get them to snap in there like that. That means they're completely hooked. And they can't go anywhere. But there we go. We have shelves. Okay, so obviously that is going up there. It is actually easier to get to these shelves than it will be to get to these once the once the dryer is back in place. But I'm still going to stick these here. And I think I'm going to shift while I'm up here because it's really not my favorite place in the world. Believe it or not, I'm really not that fond of ladders. Okay, these are half pints. So I'm going to shift these. Right now, we are pretty much done with canning for the year. Unless we're very lucky and we manage to score something else somewhere along the line. But a lot of the fruit crops in Arizona were kind of a fail this year. So, which is not shocking considering the weather. I'm going to shift some of these up top here. I'm trying to shift a little of this out of here if I can, because as we empty jars, this is going to be full again. This will be a stages sort of a thing, but that's okay. As I said, I learned a long time ago that you don't have any such thing as a perfectly organized reorganization. Maybe if you hire somebody to do it for you, you come close, but my personal belief on those paid for reorganizations is that an awful lot of people wind up reorganizing after the reorganizer has left, because they'll decide that, well, this is the way you should do it. Well, maybe that way just doesn't suit your lifestyle. So, yeah, I'm not convinced. I think I will take one more box of half pints and put that here. And maybe a couple of smaller containers can go there. We have our million spare dog bowls and things like that here. Because everybody needs those. And I think it's time to bring in some of the other storage boxes that I actually was putting this up for in the first place. And this is why I keep my jar boxes, because it makes it easy to maneuver them around. Okay, that's better. All right, time to get some of those boxes in here. My husband asked the eternal question when I was discussing putting some of these up here. And he's like, do we actually need all of the plastic containers? And the answer is, actually, no. I've actually gotten rid of a couple, and I'll be sorting through more, because now that we have easy access to stuff, it makes it obvious when you have boxes and stuff that are unnecessary. And now we're going, why do we have these? They're unnecessary. These are all food safe containers. They can be used for storing. And like I said, I'm going to be getting another shelf. I've got the shelf, I need the brackets. Hopefully the next time we go, they'll have them in stock. I need to find the lids of some of these things. Okay. Yep. I love it when you make that next step in organization and suddenly you're like, where is everything? Okay. So that's step one, I guess you should say. I need to wipe this down. Make sure my hands are clean, and I am going to see if I can put up the Roman blinds.